the NBN rollout. And as I was saying in an earlier contribution on this bill, it really says it all about this government's poor NBN rollout, that simply having the NBN say to people that they will ensure that all Australians can continue to access high-speed broadband infrastructure is something that people can rely on. Simply saying that by the NBN isn't enough. They've actually got to go the extra mile and now enshrine it in legislation, because the NBN under this government cannot be relied upon to deliver. We're pleased to see this government actually put it beyond doubt in legislation that all Australians, no matter where they live, are going to have access to high-speed broadband infrastructure once the NBN is rolled out. But as I say, it says something very grave about this government's rollout of the NBN that it actually has to take that step. The NBN really has become one of the running sores of this government. All of us, no matter which state we represent, in the House of Representatives, no matter which electorate people represent, every single day people are coming to our electorate offices complaining about the poor NBN rollout and service under this government. It has become an embarrassment. The number of countries that have better NBN services and better broadband than Australia, including in parts of the developing world, really puts this government to shame when it comes to the NBN. So I hope that this bill is the beginning of a change of attitude, proper rollout of the NBN, guaranteeing people the services that they need to be able to function properly in the new millennium.
Senator Urquhart.
Mr President, I rise to speak on the Telecommunications Legislation Amendment, Competition and Consumer Bill 2018 and the Telecommunications Regional Broadband Scheme Charge Bill 2018. Well, as my colleague Senator Watt has just indicated, yesterday afternoon we heard some very concerning details about the Turnbull government's plans for regional broadband users. Details that clearly demonstrate that the Liberal and National parties do not care about regional Australia. Details that clearly demonstrate that the Liberal and National Party are happy for people in regional Australia, families on the fringe of towns, businesses on the land and hard-working small business people who work from home to pay more for less. Yesterday, before a joint standing committee on the National Broadband Network, the NBN company admitted its plans to charge regional Australians on the fixed wireless network $20 more per month than a customer on the same 50 megabits per second speed who lives in the city. $20 a month, $240 a year, and this charge is likely to attract the 10% GST. So in fact, an impost onto those Australians who happen to be on the fixed wireless service of over $264 a year. This equates in percentage terms as someone in the regions paying 44% more than someone in a nearby town for the same 50 megabits per second. What sort of government would allow this to happen? Well, let me tell you, the Turnbull government allowed this to happen. What sort of government would abandon Australians like this? The Turnbull National Liberal government. A government led by a man who knows the fine details of the swing against him in the Braddon by-election, led by a man who claims to have created the internet and who even claims to have created the term battery of the nation. A government led by a man who does not care about the regions, led by a man who doesn't care about small family businesses and doesn't care about creating opportunities for all Australians. You see, the people who are typically on fixed wireless are those living on the outskirts of our regional towns and cities. They may be farmers, they may have a small land holding, they may be on a normal residential block. They've either moved to the urban fringe to enjoy the country lifestyle, or because the price of housing is more affordable than in a town or a city. They face the same cost of living challenges as those in the towns, except they need to get in their car every time they need anything. And to impose an arbitrary $264 charge on these households per year will only make things harder. It will mean that they will either go without decent broadband for their small business or family, or they go without something else, maybe a family holiday, a trip away, This Prime Minister cannot.
Senator Urquhart, you'll be in continuation.